One thing about it, when you hear a man say, oh, it's in a man's nature to be with multiple women, he trying to manipulate you, love. When you look up the word nature, it refers to animalistic ways. And then men go into this whole thing where they be like, oh, well, we just like the lions and how lions have multiple partners. Man, God gave us dominion over animals. I ain't no animal. What you talking about, right? Now, when you look up the word human nature, it refers to the qualities of a man. We are not born with the qualities of wanting to be with multiple women. That's not a quality, right? You have a desire. So say that. Quit trying to manipulate women. Quit trying to get over on women. Be honest and upfront. Let her know, look, I cannot be monogamous because I do not have enough discipline to be monogamous. I have a desire to be with multiple women. And I need
toxic men, users, and abusers, they do have a heart. And you will see that heart the very moments you decide to try to leave that person. You only see that soft, vulnerable side when it's used to manipulate you into staying in a relationship. You only see them break down in tears when they are acting. They are acting because they want to use their emotions to trigger your emotional response to stay back in this relationship. What am I going to do without you? They break down like that, right? And you so used to seeing them mad or strong or stubborn that when you see this moment of vulnerability, they show you their heart when it's time for you to leave. You think you have made progress with them. You be like, wow, I'm finally getting it to him. I've been asking him to be emotional and transparent and tell me how he feels. And in this moment, he's showing me himself. That's an act, boo. He ain't showing you his heart. He's trying to use his heart to manipulate you. And guess what you do? Stay.
Or I always run into these manipulative men. I don't know, maybe I make it that way. I really wish you would see this because I need you, girl. I saw it. It's you and them, but it's primarily you. Manipulators know who to prey on. They know exactly who to target. There's something that you were showing where they were easily able to identify that you're easy to be manipulated. They identify your weaknesses and your vulnerabilities. Usually in the first conversation, they can do so, and they'll exploit those. How? Well, hopefully this allows you to do some type of introspection and really take a deep dive into your behaviors or some things that you probably need to work on. First things first is they test your empathy. They may come in, play victim, lie, exaggerate stories, exaggerate distress just to see what your empathy levels actually are. They'll also shower you with attention and affection. Then when you take the bait, boom, gotcha, because they see that you're easily flattered. They pay attention to your insecurities, to your past traumas, and your fears. And they gain all of that information and they use it against you later. Especially if you're an open book. If you're one of those people, as soon as you meet someone and you're like, I'm an open book. Yeah, they got you. They'll also try to isolate you from friends. And if you're one of those people who allows yourself to be isolated from family and friends, then they know you're easy to manipulate. So if they're able to call you at any given second and you drop everything that you're doing, or you start spending all of your time with them and you start ignoring or canceling plans with families and friends, easy for them to target you. They test your level of dependency and see how easily isolated you are. They'll also gaslight you. And if they can gaslight you once, then they can gaslight you again. And if you are operating in a place of low self-worth, then they can tell if you're easy to gaslight because you won't trust your judgment. They'll also test your boundaries. So if your boundaries are a little too loose, if you're willing to bend your boundaries because they guilt trip you or things like that, they know they can cross your boundaries. So they'll definitely test it. And one way they can tell that you have low self-worth, they'll pay attention to see if you discount or discredit yourself. How you show them you do that? You minimize your achievements, you minimize your accomplishments, you compare yourself to others often, and you talk negative about yourself. Someone gives you a compliment and you say, oh, I just pieced this together. Or someone compliments your accomplishments. Really? Oh, I don't know how I passed that. That lack of confidence shows exactly the spaces where they can manipulate and break you. And then they see exactly where they can gain control and power over you. So I know you want to be able to point the finger and say, why do these men keep on manipulating me? But baby, the problem is really you. You need to do some inner work. I hope that gives you something to work with. I wish you
never, and I mean never, trust the guy who does this. Because if he does this, I don't care if you're in love with him. I don't care if you're moving in together and you just got a dog. You got to walk away after this. Never trust the guy who makes everything your fault. If every time there's a problem, he turns it around on you, Whether it's something you said, something you did, something you didn't do, that's a huge red flag. I don't care if he says, I'm just being honest, or you're too sensitive. No. That's gaslighting, that's manipulation. If he's making you feel like you're always the one in the wrong, always the one to blame, then you know what? That's not love. That's control. That's him messing with your head and trying to make you doubt yourself. So listen, never trust a guy who's always flipping things around on you. If he can't take responsibility for his own actions, he's never going to own up to anything, and that's not someone you want in your life.
How do men pick who they manipulate, and how do you know when they're genuinely interested?
Oh, there's always a profile to a manipulator. I'll give you some common reasons how they can tell if you're easy to abuse, manipulate, or exploit. Number one is if you're codependent. Another one, if you have low self-esteem. If you discount the positives, that's another thing. If they compliment you and you minimize yourself. If you're a catastrophic thinker, whether you magnimize things or you minimize things. If you operate from a place of low self-worth. If you shy away from just general conversations, those are the things that they pay attention to. If you have trauma, that's another thing. And if you are vocal about your trauma, if you have trauma from previous relationships, if you have negative experiences in your childhood and you are vocal about that, they can see that. They can see that in the way you speak, in the way you behave, in the way you interact with people. That is the easiest way to identify if they can manipulate you. If there are certain qualities about yourself that you find low, if you have a lack of self-confidence or anything like that, they're going to take that weakness that you have and they're going to exploit that to use it against you. That's the way that they can tell if you're a person that they can manipulate. That this man's love, she said that this man's love language was to buy her gifts. You believe that's somebody's love language? Let me introduce you to the mind of a manipulator. Maybe then I can help you out a little bit. Because what manipulators do, they exploit your vulnerabilities. And even knowing that you have a fear of vulnerability, a fear of connection, a fear of intimacy, lets me know that I can exploit that. Yeah. I'm going to come in and give you false praise. I'm going to make you feel like you're rewarded. I'm going to make you feel like your time is rewarded. This ain't for you. This is for me. Please understand that I was never going to give you that relationship. This false praise that I gave you was to help me fill those voids, to help give me the reassurance in myself, to help validate who I am and my sense of security and stability. Stop falling for the okie doke. Come on. That man didn't introduce you to the family because you were never a part of his plan. Come on. Not long term. And until you start being real with yourself, ouch, because no matter what it is that you say, your behavior snitch on you. So a manipulator comes in and they see, oh, you afraid of this. I got you. Oh, your self-worth is low. I got you. Scary. Your self-esteem is low. I got you. Please understand that a lot of you set yourself up. Get to know this person.
I never gave her safety. I never gave her stability, because safety and stability meant that she could relax and pause. And a woman who feels safe might realize that she doesn't need me. I created chaos inside the entire relationship, created fights over nothing. One day sweet, the next day cruel, going back and forth. And so she stayed second guessing herself, and I controlled her by keeping her anxious, because a stable woman can't be manipulated. But an anxious one stays locked into a relationship much longer than what they want to be.
Let this video serve as evidence that these men out here are not silly boys just trying to figure it out. They're well aware when they're manipulative, and they're well aware when they're manipulating you. Things like nagging, ghosting, breadcrumbing, the push and pull method. They know what those things are. Some of them have not only studied those methods, they've mastered them, and they use them on unsuspecting women. This is why you don't tell a man exactly what you're looking for up front, because all he'll do is pretend to be that man until he gets what he wants from you. Never tell the man exactly how to play you. They are constantly looking for inconsistencies in what you're saying and what you are allowing. Confident women don't chase men, they don't entertain inconsistent men, and they don't negotiate their standards. I don't care how confident you say you are, I don't care how confident you think you are. Waiting around for a man to change his mind about one of your standards, or even worse, waiting for a man to change his mind about you, is an insecurity waiting to be exploited, and he will. The only reason you're going back and forth with that man is because you told him what you wanted and he didn't do it. So why are you still there? A man